Hello all, it's Pull It Apart Paul. Alright, this is a bit of a different location. I'm not going to this is the ugly bench. I really find it hard coming out here. But this is all I've got to work with. So what are we going to do today? Well, we all know about that radio. The goal is to put a Razor Radio's Cybernet for Mark 1 Cybernet VCO into this radio. It is very elementary stuff, very straightforward, and what I'll do is go through that with you now. Okay, so the first thing is obviously screws, and again, this is one of the reasons why I don't think it's a good idea if you're working on radios to tighten screws right up. I've left these just snug. The case rattles when you pick it up, and the main reason for that is you want to keep the inside clean, and if you're working in a dusty environment or something falls on it, you really don't want to be going backwards. You want all your work to be going forwards. So I'll try and keep this as, so I just put my screws as a one shot, but it's probably going to be a several shot scenario. Yeah, alright. It's raining in Melbourne today. It was 31 degrees here in Hughesdale this morning. Went out and enjoyed that. And from about 3:30 onwards, it's just been pouring down. Okay, so we just removed the green and yellow wires because it's a Cybernet. It's got it marked in there which one is which. Put that aside for the moment. The bottom cover should drop as it does. Just hide that away. Alright, so where is it? That's what we're going to remove there. Okay, the long silver VCO. And I'm also going to replace that large cap. It's got an odour, and the one next to it. Yeah. I'm not going to even, I don't bother testing them because this is what is it, 1980s radio. It's not going to be the best. Alright. Now I don't have a solder sucker, so I use the old manual method. So first we remove the solder to the metal side of the original VCO. I'm not going to be using these with the new VCO. Now, up the end here, there are 3 pins. 1, 2, 3. We're going to be unsoldering those, and the ones here, 1, 2. All right. Have a look at my nib. Oh, where is it? Won't focus. It's a 1mm nib. And this copper work, even though it's not delicate, I just prefer to use the smaller tips. This is a Heiko soldering station, again from the ancient parts of electronics. I must have done probably, I don't know, Ray could probably answer this, and a lot of parts radios before I started buying from Ray. I've probably done 70 or 80 of these. You've got to be so careful as well. My soldering iron's set on 420. And I just go over the pins after I'm finished and just make sure that I'm breaking free of the someone's at factories done something. I've rarely seen this on the metal leg, the earth leg. They've twisted the connection. Great, that was good. At factory, that's good. Alright, so that side of it's done. Clean that. Now flip it over. And what I choose to do now is get one of my tweezers and I get in behind it and I wiggle it. For whatever reason. It's a matter of I missed one. Just give you a break for a second, go and grab a coffee. Alright, here we are back again. Okay, so we have to do is wiggle. If you've confirmed all your solder joints are free, I've got one ground one that's playing up. Okay, here we go. Now all we're going to do is move the loom out of the way. And here we go. So that's your Cybernet VCO. Okay. Some people are pulling these apart and repairing them, replacing a couple of caps inside of this and doing the electrolytic if they're trying to do an absolute perfect restoration. I'd rather these days install a product that's a bit more efficient. And some of you will go, oh, but it doesn't have RF protection. The razor, well, it actually does. I'm just tidying up some of these solder areas that I've removed. Right. Just because it's factory, it doesn't mean it's neat. Just picking up a few of the areas that I'm not happy with. That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Alright, so now the unbowing. So what we have here is one of Ray's VCOs. He always wraps them in bean, okay, with a bit of tape. With the, you're going to have to be, if you're putting these in, just a bit of advice, very, very delicate, this stuff. These wires, the heat runs up the wires and will melt on the solder pads here. Okay, so the goal here at the moment is patience and get it level with inside the board, and that means sticking all the pins perfectly upright so they just align with the holes in the PCB. So what I do is this, I just do a test fit on the opposite side first to see that, because there's 5 pins here, and because of the limited space we want them to line up. All right. Okay, so we flip it over again. We clear the area, bring the light over. Just patience, remember that. Two important things with soldering and doing work is hygiene. And what I mean by hygiene is having your skills already sorted, having confidence in your work. Wearing the right glasses. Got Ava sitting next to me today. There we go, finally. Okay, so it slides in. Okay, you see that? Whoops. Right there. What I'm going to do is make sure that it's level and bend the pins away on the other side, so that that sits. Where are we? Right there, that sits nice and square with the PCB. Right, I'm going under the magnifying glass. Okay. Just to show you, I'll bring you over here, we'll have a look underneath. Can we see that? I don't know. Anyway. Here we are here. They're all done. All right, thank you. All right, so now done that. Time for a clean. Get all the flux off. Make the area look good. And that's done. All right. In here, it's very hard to even tell. All right. On to a couple of caps. All right, so we're going to do that one and the one next to it. Hang on a second. All right, just remove the first cap. It's actually leaking. It's very crusty. And on the PCB, we've got some leak. So what I normally do here is find my trusty pick. Which it seems to be missing. Right, so I don't have a pick, so I'll use a ceramic tool. So that's a 2200 16 volt. I'm going to replace it with a 2200 50 volt in a Lelon. And it just clears the top of the heatsink. So that's always good. All right. Many of you have asked me, to do one of these videos. I've never done one before. It is, I'm sorry if it's boring. You can skip, do whatever you want. Okay, so the isopropyl alcohol removes obviously all the flux for those that are new to the hobby without causing issues to the radio. I use this to fault find sometimes, mainly the dry joints and also broken tracks. let's go through and clean the rest of this board. I thought originally that this was a virgin. It is to many ways. It hasn't been modified, but it's had a few new solder marks over here, and that's in the receiver section. This section is the audio section. Oh, sorry, this is the synthesizer audio RX and TX. Alright, so that's done. We'll just do the next cap, which is next to it. There's that one right there, which looks, it doesn't look factory. So that one's been, looks like that's been replaced, and it's up and down. So there it is there. Just change to the more powerful red one. Okay. Wrong one. Ah, that's it. Always note the direction. It says on the circuit board, but sometimes the circuit boards lie. Negative is going towards the front, and yes, it's properly marked on the PCB. This is a 330/16. So what I'm going to do is put in a modern 330 in a 50 volt. Again, a Lallen product. So you see that's the new product. That's the original. Big difference. Remember, focus. Don't take phone calls when you're doing electronics unless you're finished. I've done that. Taken a phone call and put things in the wrong way. I can't work and talk on the phone at the same time. Alright, so just needing up around here as well. Very hard to see that I've been in here actually now. Alright, so there's the big one. Okay, so the solder now looks factory. There's the 330 just in there, and again, no such shiny solder. Solder matches. Doesn't look like there's been anyone been in here. Now I just want to check. Okay, so that's a lot better now. Okay, now for the boring bit, I'm going to button it back up and we'll just go and do a test inside. Alright, we're back inside. Just wiring the radio up, just putting the Cybernet power cord into the power supply. I suppose some of you would call me lazy because I haven't set things up yet, but it is what it is. And we're getting there. I'm getting there. Haven't even had my coffee. Alright, that's on. Okay, that's on the bracket. Sideband. Fantastic. That was, if you remember from the last video, it was so quiet. Perfect. It's TXing. All up. All up. All up. All up. Well, I'd call that a success. Thank you for being with me on the journey for this one. Don't know why it's saying it's showing the radio back to front. Interesting.